Hello and welcome. My name is Mark Benton. I'm a foreign lawyer. I'm an English solicitor and I work for Ahnse law offices, and I primarily help our foreign clients who have legal problems in Korea. So today I want to talk about distribution agreements. What do you need to know about distribution agreements in Korea? Okay, so let's move on. Okay, so three things. Introduction. Korea is a place to do business, why we should be concerned about distribution agreements, the law, and then I'll give you some specific examples. Okay, so doing business in Korea. So I've lived here for some 16 years, so I'm fairly familiar with the market, and I guess we can analyze it from two perspectives. First one is the commercial perspective. So what's your business decision to come to Korea? And then the second perspective is the legal perspective. And as lawyers, we hope to advise on both the commercial and legal perspective. So a few words on the commercial side of things. So Korea is a great place to do business. Has a highly educated population. It's sophisticated. And it's got a well-developed market. But on the flip side, there are perhaps two main concerns. The first one is there's a significant level of vertical and horizontal integration. So there are some very big companies that have a lot of control, perhaps disproportionate control over the market. And the second one, which I've fallen foul of, so I've advised companies, but I've also tried to do business here myself, and one assumption that's frequently made is that if something works in, say, England or the US or the EU, then ipso facto, by the fact itself, it will work in Korea, and that's wrong. You shouldn't make that assumption, and hence you would need to do your research on the market. And one of the easiest steps into the market without too much expense is a distribution model, hence the purpose of this video. So distribution is often seen as perceived as a first step into a foreign market. Okay, so let's move on. Let's take a look at the law. There are three main laws which are relevant to distribution agreements in Korea. The first one is the Act on Private International Law. The second one is the Monopoly Regulation and Fair Trade Act. And the third one is the Fair Agency Transactions Act. And I'll just give a very brief overview of what you need to know about each of these laws. So moving on to the Act on Private International Law. So Article 25, Section 1, provides that if a contract is governed by law, parties will choose explicitly or implicitly. If implied, then is from all the circumstances. So basically, the parties are free to choose which law they want to apply. Choice of law clauses are beyond the scope of this video. However, if there is no choice of law clause in the contract, then it will be implied by all the circumstances. Okay. And then that's reinforced by Article 12, Subsection 1. The law will be determined by this Act. So basically, the summary of this is that the parties are free. There's freedom of contract. So if you want to have English law applying, then you can have English law applying, and if you want to have Korean law applying, then you can have Korean law applying. However, if you have a choice of law clause which says English law applies, and the courts of England and Wales will have jurisdiction in the matter, and then you have a lawsuit there and you win, then you have to enforce the agreement in Korea, and the agreement will be enforceable except to the extent that it doesn't contravene Korean public law, which is really the underlying theme of this video. So let's move on. Okay, so the public law So as I said before, we have the Monopoly Regulation and Fair Trade Act and the Fair Agency Transactions Act, and they're administered by the Korean Competition Authority, which is the Fair Trade Commission. So the penalties can be really quite significant under the Monopoly Regulation and Fair Trade Act. There can be a 500 million won fine, which would be about just under $400,000 or 2% of sales, and under the Fair Agency Transaction Act, be Korean won 150 million, so approximately a bit over $100,000 and 2 years in prison. So it's something you want to be concerned about. You know, if you're in England and you're trying to enforce in Korea, well, it's kind of a theoretical concern. However, if you want an ongoing relationship in Korea, it's something that you need to keep in mind. And also, if you subsequently want to enter the market yourself, then it's relevant to that extent. Okay, so some things to look out for. Okay, so these things are generally illegal in Korea. So I'll go over them very quickly. Resale price maintenance, dividing the market, so you can't have territories within Korea, so you can't give one distributor, a sales area and another distributor a different sales area. Then targets, you have to be very, very careful about targets, especially termination for failure to keep targets. Korean law, excuse me, is also really hot on any provisions which would interfere with the management of the distributor in Korea. They really don't like that at all. And then if you have a contract and then you want to upgrade that contract, then you have to be very careful about how you do that. You're not allowed to impose a contract on less favourable terms. Okay, that's all I need to talk about for this short video. If you have any questions, please contact me on the addresses, the email address, telephone number given here. Thank you very much. Take care.